Hi, it's Erin. And so, to tell you a little bit more about myself, I've lived in Taiwan for the past 2 years. One of my favorite dishes was Kung Pao Chicken, or Kung Pao Chicken. And I have not found anywhere in the U.S. that makes it the same way the place that I liked in Douliu makes it. So I went about learning how to make it myself. It's Friday, and I'm ready to cook. So green onions are pretty prevalent in Taiwanese cuisine, especially in Yilan, the county I lived in the first time I moved to Taiwan. I love fresh ginger, but I don't like biting down into a big piece of it. So what I do is take my potato peeler, peel the outside away, and once that's cleared off, have little slivers of ginger to put in with the chicken. So we're going to take 2 chicken breasts and cut them into inch-sized pieces. You can do a little smaller if you want, but roughly square pieces are good for frying in the pan like we're going to do. As an alternative, if you do not want to fry them, you could bake them in the oven. It's a little bit healthier, but personally, I prefer to fry them. So now that our chicken is all cut, we can take pieces of the chicken, dip them in egg, coat them in Italian breadcrumbs. I think the place I went to in Taiwan used flour, but I think the bread. So we heat our wok and add oil to it. I like to use peanut oil for this recipe, but it's really your choice. Add the chicken carefully so that you don't get slaughtered by the grease. After the chicken has had a little time in the pan, flip it over. We need to make sure both sides are cooked well. Smaller pieces will help ensure a more even and faster cooking time. We're going to set the finished chicken aside on paper towels to help soak up the grease. So this smells delicious, but all we have here is fried chicken. Where's the Kung Pao kick? I think that fresh ginger root is amazing, so we're going to add a lot of ginger here. Then we're going to add on some dry roasted peanuts, because it's just not Kung Pao chicken without peanuts. Right. We're going to let these simmer a bit in the pan. Alright, so now it's just about time to add our chili pepper paste. So I like the Gourmet Garden chili pepper paste. It's almost 100% organic pureed chili peppers. Generally like to use about half a bottle. I've been using it for other things too, so we don't quite have half here. If you like it spicier, use a whole bottle if you want. So I'm going to mix up the peanuts and the chili peppers and the ginger. You can add soy sauce or sesame oil if you'd like. I prefer my chicken a little bit drier, because I like the spice to be on the chicken and not in a sauce. So we're going to take our plate of chicken and liberate it into the wok without the paper towel. And we're going to mix it up. And while you're mixing it, you can add in most of your green onions. I won't say all because we want to save some of them for the soup. That looks good. Right. Kung Pao chicken. We start out with a very basic chicken broth. You can use cubes, a can, or any other broth starter you'd like. I use the Better Than Bouillon organic chicken stock. Whatever you use, you want a ratio of 1 cup of broth per egg. Egg drop soup has a very distinct texture. In order to achieve this texture, we're going to mix cornstarch and water in a little bowl. You'll need a couple of heaping teaspoons of cornstarch. So this next step is a little tricky, and I ruined my last batch messing this up. You need to be mixing the broth with one hand while you pour your cornstarch and water mixture with the others. Unless you keep a nice even mix going, you'll end up with rubbery clumps of cornstarch in your soup. Trust me, that's the last thing you want. So the next step is scrambling our eggs. We're going to scramble 2 eggs and get them ready to put in the pot. So when your soup is at a boil again, you'll start to pour the eggs in. You can pour them in slowly and let them have a chance to spread out in the pan. You can mix it up. It really doesn't take very long to cook, maybe 30 seconds. The thing is done almost instantly. And there you have your egg drop soup. We're going to ladle that out into our bowls and then add salt and pepper to taste. All right. And finally, we'll take the last of those green onions we were saving and add them on top. And there you have it, green onion soup. Dinner for 2 is ready. Kung Pao chicken and egg drop soup. And now I'm going to go eat. 再见! Alright, so if you're anything like me, making that dinner used up every dish in the house. But if you're as lucky as I was, somebody else will help you wash the dishes.